views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello, and welcome to the Bronx Spotlight. In this show, we highlight the people, events, and places that make the Boogie Down Bronx one of a kind. Today, we are highlighting the events that promote better health for our community through runs and walks. I'm your host, Chelsea Jackson, and this is the Bronx Spotlight. Hello and welcome. Kicking off our Health Encouragement Edition, this year's 2XU New York City Triathlon saw athletes from all over compete against one another. BronxNet reporter Shanice Powell tells us more.
The 2XU New York City Triathlon course of 2018 includes some of the greatest in the game, racing to the finish line in the competitive multi-sport event. One such competitor is the elite local triathlete Saudi Tejada, who is known for leaving an indelible mark on the triathlon world. In addition to competing in these races for over 5 years, she has the more intense Ironman distance under her belt and has been invited to compete as a pro in the USA Triathlon Association.
I'm just so shocked. I've been sort of racing as an elite, but this is a complete surprise to me to be a professional Latina breaking through the sport that hasn't been a diverse sport. I'm just humbled and surprised and nervous and everything at the same time. I'm so excited. I see you at the finish line.
And she takes off again, making long strides towards the next chapter in the history books as she helps diversify the sport of triathlon. Of course, behind every great competitor is a great coach, pushing his students to the limit. For Tejada, it is Ishmael Rodriguez, also referred to as Coach Ish, who's doing his part in making the sport accessible to people of color. Competing alongside Tejada are equally passionate opponents such as Gabby Bunton, who's earned first place in the female division.
I wasn't expecting it at all, so it was a really fun day, and I'm happy with it. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I knew there would probably be great competition on the East Coast. I'm from the Midwest, so I'm used to those competitors and not really used to the East Coast, so it was a fun switch up today.
Supporters have and always will be a key part of the competition, providing much-needed encouragement to the hard-working racers. A family of two waits by the roundabout to cheer on their wife and mother as she competes in the race.
I'm up here for the annual 2018 New York City Olympic Triathlon, which my wife Marcia is competing in. We are at the roundabout, just about the halfway mark up in the Bronx, and what we're doing is we're representing our people out here, all our Bronxites, and everybody else who came to cheer and see all these wonderful athletes compete into the New York City Triathlon. And we're out here with a future triathlete, Luke.
Swimming, cycling, and running their way to the finish line, these competitors did not fail to showcase their tenacity and drive through this year's 2XU New York City Triathlon. From BronxNet, this is Shanice Powell.
Thank you, Shanice. The Boogie Down Bronx, a running group that meets every week to encourage Bronxites to fit exercise into their schedules, dedicates a run in memory of Lisandro Jr. Guzman Feliz. Let's take a look.
The Boogie Down Bronx Runners is a group that meets every week to encourage Bronxites to fit exercise into their schedules. This week they are running for a special cause and dedicating their run to Lisandro Jr. Guzman Feliz, the teen whose life was senselessly taken away in a gruesome murder. The founders of the group say that they want to play their part in getting teens off the streets and getting them into something more positive.
What it really did to us is really inspire us to kind of hit the youth a little stronger and try to get the youth into, this running movement that we've started with the adults, just to see if we can, just stop the violence in the streets with the, involving the youth and trying to give them a different avenues as well. So, we're the Boogie Down Bronx Runners, so that's what we bring. We bring running to the community, so we figure this is the best way.
Just here to come together, unified, to bring some awareness and just run as one in his name tonight.
Members of the group brought a candle for the vigil run to light up for Junior once they reached the memorial site.
Junior was everybody's son. He was, somebody who was innocent, somebody who was hanging outside with friends. We all did that growing up. I have a son who's 21. Same hairstyle, same mannerisms, going to the bodega, hanging out with friends, and it could have been anybody.
It's heartbreaking because the Bronx is one of the boroughs that doesn't get a lot of positive attention. And then when something tragic happens, everyone says this is the normal, and it's really not. And there's a lot of positivity going on in the Bronx. The running community is growing, and the Boogie Down Bronx runners are helping it so much.
And if we can, in some way, shape, or form, run together as a team, as a community over there, and maybe other kids can be a little bit more inspired and probably run with us and pick up another thing to do, another hobby like running, as opposed to, hanging out and doing something foolish, maybe preventing something like this happening again.
If you'd like to join an organization running with a purpose, the Boogie Down Bronx Runners meet here at 785 Pelham Parkway North every Tuesday at 7 p.m. For BronxNet, I'm Veronica Guiti.
With over 1,700 participants, its largest turnout ever, Bronxite and people from all over took to the streets for the 40th annual Run the Bronx Health Run and Walk. Our good friend, reporter Arlene Makoko, was there to tell us more.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
With that, the 40th annual Run the Bronx Health Run and Walk, the largest ever this year, with 1,700 participants, began with runners making their way off the iconic University Heights campus of Bronx Community College to run along a stretch of the historic Grand Concourse and back. All this a continuation of a proud tradition at the school, whose first president, Dr. Roscoe Brown, was a Tuskegee Airman fighter pilot during World War II and one of the founders of this event.
As an individual who's represented this area for a couple of years, I would not be where I am without the leadership, the pioneering spirit of Dr. Brown.
There is a visionary man who used to preside this campus, Roscoe Brown, who thought that it was an important way we needed to do something to connect with the community. Okay, and so he, along with a couple of other folks, said, let's actually do a run.
The first run sending a message that the doors to education and healthy living are open, a message that continues today under Dr. Thomas Ezekanegbe.
For us at the college, it's an opportunity for all of us to come together with the community, to come together, run, exercise, and actually bond together as a community.
That bonding extended to the son of the late Dr. Brown, who on July 2nd of 2016 died at the age of 94 due to a hip injury. Friends and colleagues that knew him joined his son Dennis Brown to help carry on the legacy his dad started on a campus that has become so much a part of his life.
It is filled with memories. Every year, 40 years, we got married here. We kind of grew up here, and the idea of what Roscoe's doing is still happening.
Also founders Dr. Henry Skinner and Joseph Ramos.
The fact is that this is something that I believe in, and doing, I believe in health, wellness, but also in sharing that with other people so they could do the same thing.
I had the opportunity to work with him. He was my mentor.
Today, Professor Henry Skinner, who graduated from BCC, teaches and encourages a new generation about the benefits to staying fit, and judging by the turnout, it's something that's taking hold for runners like first place winner in the 5K for men, Abdel Khalil, who came in at 16 minutes and 57 seconds.
I'm a senior at high school right now, so my middle school teammates wanted to meet up and hopefully win this event. My middle school coach found it for us, and it was a great experience.
23:56. Also a high school student, 17-year-old Maria Grialva was a winner in her category.
It's so critical for kids to be engaged in sports, whatever it is. It could be tennis or, football, basketball. It doesn't matter. Running. Just so many positive things can come from it.
You'd have a second. Is that true? An overall first place winner for women in the 10K run, Saudi Tejada.
It's just great being here in the Bronx. I feel very connected to the Bronx. And I just love this. It's such a community-friendly gathering as well.
I get emotional. I almost started crying at the end of this finish line because you're
conquering this long hill, running up this hill. It's so difficult. After 6 miles, you see that, and you're like, oh man, you know? But when you do it, it's so gratifying.
And for Randy Nunez, it was a proud moment for him and his 3-year-old daughter, Beangelis.
When you saw them put the medal on her, what was going through your mind?
That's how I was so happy for her.
I have asthma and I have allergies. For the past 2 months, I have been suffering from this. And I was doubtful that I was going to be able to finish.
Drawing attention to health is also a focus.
I am a runner, so, so definitely I was there to support her, from beginning to finish. And here we are, finished, and she finished it.
And with that, bringing together international runners, Dennis Heinrich is from Europe.
It's an amazing opportunity to run here. We came for our vacation, and it was very, very cool to run this race.
Special recognition went out to area CUNY schools. Here's Team Lehman.
We got biggest team trophy, 10K. Actually, overall, we have, the top veteran, 3rd place female. So we got a bunch of folks doing some really good stuff. So.
Was that hill a bit of a trial? Come on, be real.
I definitely had trouble getting. It's been a while, so this is kind of like my break back into the training mode. So hopefully this is something that I can keep doing. But those hills definitely, they take the cake.
Because the beautiful day, lights are everywhere. It's basically you just keep running, enjoy yourself. And if the heat catches you a little bit, step out of the water station, slow down, just keep moving. That's it.
And there were other groups. Justin Mache, who recently formed Bronx Soul, talked about running the course.
You saw people coming out of their homes to cheer. There was always people out there cheering and shouting words of inspiration and motivation for us. It actually brings everyone together.
And Lennon Grillon is founder of the Boogie Down Bronx, that's affiliated with the Roadrunners Club. Soon to celebrate their 1st-year anniversary, they already have close to 40 members.
The Bronx got probably one of the most beautiful places to run in the city, and a lot of people don't know that.
This is a run where everyone's a winner. It's not just about speed, it's about enjoying the Bronx and staying fit. For BronxNet, this is Arlene McCoker.
Thank you, Arlene. The Bronx community came together to walk Fordham Hill as Bein' Fit team brought awareness to the youth during Bronx Week.
The Bein' Fit team invited the Bronx community as they walked to bring wellness awareness to the youth during Bronx Week.
So today we're having the Bein' Fit Health Annual Walk, where we're promoting healthy living amongst our community. We have a number of health vendors here. We have Montefiore Medical Community Center, Fordham Road Bid, and a number of people here to promote healthy living amongst our community. We want to show people that physical activity is an important part of everyday life. Walking up and down Fordham Hill is 1.5 miles. So get your Fitbit steps in and come do some shopping.
The walk is really about us getting outside and getting healthy despite the weather. All these people here care about health and really want to have our kids live a healthy, long life, and that's why we're out getting some exercise today.
Many healthcare providers were present to spread awareness on healthy eating, physical activity, obesity, and diabetes to the Bronx community.
Bronx is last place for every health initiative or every bad health category that exists. We want to change that. We want to get us back into good standings and make our community healthier.
I'm Ashley Tiffany, reporting for BronxNet.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. For today's stories and more, make sure to visit BronxNet.org or follow us all over social media at BronxNet TV. Until next time, I'm Chelsea Jackson.